Sai, you
Oh,
were 3 seconds late.
no, it wasn't.
Yes, you were. That means you have to sing the theme song.
I don't know the words.
Sing the theme song to Steins Gate. That's what we're talking about today.
I definitely don't know the words to that. I've never watched the
Just
song.
say something that sounds vaguely Japanese. No one's going to argue with you.
Ha 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 ha. It's a
What another wonderful intro. So, hey there, kiddos. Looks like you found your dad's anime stash again. Uh, thanks for coming. I don't know. I forget what we normally say. This is going to be a good episode, Side. You know why?
uh-huh.
You know why?
Uh-huh.
Because in addition to our review of Steins Gate, everyone also gets a history lesson. Are you excited for that? I know you like history.
History lesson.
Yeah, we're going to talk about history.
Uh-huh.
What do you? Did you just poke me? Did you just like boop my nose?
Uh-huh.
Boop. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Um, History is important, of course, because if you don't learn history, you're doomed to repeat it. As we keep finding out, we're knowing it does not stop us from repeating it. We just pretend like it didn't happen that way. So here's the history we're talking about. We're going to talk about the turn of the century. Okay, we're talking about the new millennium. We're going to talk about the year 2000, the year 2001, and the reason we're going to talk about that is because that's where everything starts today. Because you watched Steins Gate.
Uh-huh.
You familiar with John Titor?
Yeah.
Did you know he's a real person?
No.
Yeah. So in the early aughts, as we call it now, the 2000s, um, a man by the pseudonym of Time Travel Zero started appearing on various message boards across the World Wide Web, or the Information Superhighway, as it was known at the time. And he talked about his traveling through time. He came from the year 2036, where the world was under an oppressive military regime after the events of World War III.
Man.
That's
Looking
pretty
like
crazy, huh?
you might need to read that chat. Because coming up pretty
Yeah.
36 is coming pretty soon. No World War III yet.
Well, not yet. I mean, it's pretty easy to. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, but
So he,
they take a few years to do.
I mean, it doesn't take. There's some stuff going on. Anyway, most of John's claims have been disproven by this point. He talked a lot about how Y2K is going to mess up the world. But, that didn't happen. We all made it through. He'd also talked about the world being crippled by diseases from the beef industry, which, you know, has we've had some issues, but the world has not been crippled by it. We just get the diseases and we keep moving on. Um, he was actually going back in time. Believe it or not, he's looking for an IBM 5100. Does that sound familiar?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the reason we talk about John Titor in reference to Steins Gate is that's what this whole thing is based on. Steins Gate is based on the.
Gosh darn it.
Yeah,
I wanted to change my name to something.
yeah, go ahead and do it.
No, it's too late. That's no
No,
more.
I'll kick you out.
No, I'm good. I don't remember what it was.
Okay.
Okuba. Okube. What was his
Okube.
name?
Okube.
Okube. No, the other part.
Oh, he had
Oh,
two names.
Hyoin Kyoma.
Kioma. Kioma's an important guy. So
Hyoin Kyoma.
so Steins Gate is originally a video game. Did you know that?
Yep.
It was a visual novel. I think some people get offended when you refer to visual novels as video games.
You?
No, I get. Well, I do, but that's for a different reason. They want them to be separate because they think they're better. I want them to be separate because I think they're worse. It's like you think you're going to play a game, but then you just read shitty dialogue for 14 hours, and then occasionally you get to see Agumon, but that's not enough for me. It's a reference to Digimon Survive.
No, I know.
Anyway,
I got it.
good. I'm glad you're with me. Back to the topic on hand. So let's get into Steins Gate. Steins Gate is a time travel anime. Okay. It's so time travel-y, in fact, that there is a second season, which is base and there's a secret last episode of the second season that takes place in the first season in between the 23rd and 24th episode. Did you know that?
No, I didn't watch the second season.
So yeah, it's something else. Steins Gate is hard to get the watch order correct, and even when you do, there's so much going on that it doesn't matter if you don't watch it in order. So walk us through it. Give us the basic plot. You say.
Chick. Well, no. You only go going to a lecture. Stuff happens. He hears a scream. Girl dies. Then I forget how does he sends a message or something.
So the basic plot is our boy Okube.
It revolves around the microwave.
Him and his bro.
On the TV being.
Him and his bro and his best gal, they create a way to send a text message back in time up to 48 hours. And what they do is they send a series of 5 text messages that fuck up the world so much that he's put in a situation where his best gal dies no matter what. It becomes a static point that cannot be changed.
I don't think it fucks up the whole world. I think it just fucks up his whole world.
His world's all we care about. We see it from his viewpoint. Aside from one episode in the future, which is you didn't watch Zero. So things get weird in Zero. Very weird. So
as we're normal in the first series,
we find out why. It is just like Dr. Stone, per our comment. So, what?
Where did that come from?
The comments. You don't read our comments?
I didn't see it.
Yeah. We have a big fan base.
Was it Justin?
It wasn't. It was Corey Hatfield.
Oh.
So, Okube.
Mm-hmm.
So the beginning crux of our series here, young Okube is trying to hack into CERN. You know CERN, who has the Hadron
Collider, right?
Right. Him and his friend Daro are trying to hack into CERN to get access to their super collider and see their records because they believe in the works of John Titor. Now, John Titor, in reality, said nothing about CERN. It had nothing to do with that. Okay, our real life John Titor did not say CERN, but in this anime, we're taking a turn, and their John Titor said CERN is going to take over the world. Okay, yes. Could happen, very unlikely. So they want to hack into their files and see what happens. You know, they want to see their secrets, obviously. And the girl who dies at the very beginning.
I forget her name.
What is her name?
She's very important.
She's so important, and I'm so bad with names. I'm just happy to remember Okube. Kirisu.
Oh, yeah, Kirisu.
Kurisu. Or
Is it
Christina.
my Kirisu? Yeah, Christina. 003?
Makasi Kirisu. We're just going to refer to her as Christina. The first,
003?
she's, no,
4?
she was 4. Yeah.
Oh, the Shrine Maiden is number 3.
No, Okabe is 1.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot he. Okay.
Do
I
is
wasn't.
2.
Yeah, I wasn't counting him. I wasn't counting him. That's why I messed up.
Daru is 3. So she's
hmm
4.
hmm Yeah, I
Yeah.
wasn't counting Okabe. I figured he was captain, and the double O's were. Yeah, you're right.
So we'll touch on Okabe in a minute, but the first thing they do is they send back a text message, and it changes what happens at this lecture. He goes to the lecture, and she is murdered. Who we'll talk more about that later. We'll put a pin in that because that's important. Her murder is quite important. She is murdered, and time changes. They send a message back in time, and instead of her dying, she lives. And that sends us down a path of
Most.
arcing timelines. So
Yeah, you get
we'll
a
go
picture of the world tree. It's quite
we'll go over the plot a
frustrating
little
how
bit, and
we
we'll
see it.
talk about some things here. But Okabe realizes that she's from America. She's a genius, and she is working on a theory on time travel.
Wait, are you saying Makase Kirisu
Kirisu is
is
working on
from
a
America?
yeah.
Okay.
Or is she not Kirisu? Who's the
No,
redhead?
that's her.
Kirisu's the redhead. Yeah.
No, I was just saying because I forgot that people could have foreign names in America.
Well, maybe she's originally from Japan, but she's in
Yeah,
America.
yeah. She's
She
based
goes,
out of America.
gosh, I wish I'm not good at names, and it really messes me up. Okay.
No, that's her name.
So Kirisu helps
What's
them.
Dukadu's name?
I don't know.
Okay.
I was onto something.
Makase Kirisu from America. She's a spoiled sport. She went there to what did we actually see her do? Oh, in the timeline change, she was presenting a lecture.
She was what?
I was trying to get this back on track. She was presenting a lecture after the time travel.
Yes, she's presenting a lecture. So sorry. So as we go on, we add more lab members. We add more text messages to the past, and we also add the ability for Okabe to travel to the past. Now, all of this forges on 2 things. Okay, they
A
have
banana.
a banana is very important. Once they hack into CERN, they find out that CERN has done time travel experiments, and essentially what it does, whenever they
Unsuccessfully,
send
right?
someone back in time, they liquefy and just get stuck wherever they are. It's useless. It doesn't work. And they know that these experiments work because they've done the same thing with bananas. Bananas are almost genetically identical to humans.
Are they really?
I think I heard that sometime. I might just be making it up. But for the
It
purpose,
might be true because I mean, pigs are pretty close.
well, yeah,
No,
but
I
they're
think they're like
also,
90%.
yeah, that's good enough for me. They use bananas because bananas are 90% genetically identical to humans, I've
Okay,
heard. Okay.
and they're the only thing that fits in microwaves.
Well, I mean, they cook a lot of chicken nuggets in that microwave.
But they're not genetically similar.
Chicken nuggets?
hmm
They're only like
They're more
70 to
similar
80.
to dinosaurs. That's why they
Well,
have dino chicken nuggets.
That's complicated. I think they have Dino chicken nuggets for fancy stuff,
Yeah.
like your anniversary.
Yeah.
You just celebrated your 1 year anniversary just a few months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Congratulations, Si. Anyway, back to whatever we were talking
so
about.
much.
Steins Gate. I feel like we get off track easier nowadays than we used to.
No, I think that was always the case.
Was it?
I think so.
I think you're right. I don't think I can deny that. Any hoozle. So, are you picking your nose?
No, I wanted to make it. I wanted to make it look like it.
Is that a bit? Are you
Yeah,
doing a bit? Should
I
we
was
both do
doing
it?
the Onizuka.
We're picking. Look at us pick our noses.
I was doing the Onizuka nose pick. I
That's
find it
so
weird that
funny.
they do it with their pinky.
I think it's a cultural thing.
Yeah, I figured that, but I always think of Onizuka whenever I think of it.
Is that a Yakuza thing?
Maybe because
Because
they do cut the digits. Oh, that makes sense.
they cut the
We could be
pinky, right?
totally wrong. No, I thought they cut the.
Oh, I could be
Yeah,
wrong.
they do cut the pinky because of sword holding. So yeah.
I thought it was the pinky because I kind of remember
Hmm.
that one Yakuza
It
game I
is.
played that just kept going on and on, and I eventually stopped.
No, it's the pinky because it makes it harder to hold the sword.
Okay, I believe you.
I believe me too.
Okay,
For
so
once.
Steins Gate. Back to Steins Gate. Let's talk about it. So we've got Okabe has a
And
lab
they
full
find
of
out
ladies.
about the IBM on the thing, right?
The what?
In the hack, the IBM.
IBN?
Hmm.
I think IBM is trademarked. They call it an IBN on the show.
Oh, oh, okay. Well, IBM, whatever,
So
5300. Don't they find out about that in CERN's files or whatever?
yes, so through certain they have a lot of files they can't discern. So they need an IBN 5100 that has machine learning language, because it's written in code
That's
from the
the one.
past to decipher it. Well, luckily they get one. They get it at an old shrine. What's her
That
name?
someone left there specifically for them to find.
It's not Suzahar.
I think it is. No,
No,
Suzahara is the maid,
no.
right?
You're talking about
Suzahara is the
Ferris.
chick. Oh yeah, that's right. So
Ferris is
Suzahara
the
is
chick.
the
Suzaha
is
is the daughter.
yeah. Way to ruin it. Spoiler.
Daru's daughter. Yeah, whatever. We'll get there.
That was
Ueshiru?
because
I don't remember that name.
that might be it. Because I remember it was something hard.
That doesn't sound right. She's got a hard name. Well, it's a shrine maiden, and her
She's
dad
so
has an
pretty.
IB. What?
She's super pretty.
Yeah, very pretty. Has an IBN 5100. So
But a cutie.
that's how they get the 5100. That's how they break into everything.
So graceful.
Yeah.
Dude. I'm sorry, that's my favorite part of it.
Anyway, this is where things take a turn for the worse. So they crack into CERN, they get the 5100, and then they've got it. They've got everything they need. They can send the text messages back in time. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. They did do all that before they start sending more text messages.
Yeah, D-mails as they call them.
That's what I call it when I send people pictures on Instagram in their DMs,
Yeah,
D-mails.
that's why I blocked you on Instagram.
Oh,
Here's where things start to get weird. What is this girl's name. What's her name?
What's on? Oh, Shining Finger.
Shining Finger. Okabe has been running into this girl he
I love
calls
Shining Finger.
Shining Finger, and he makes her an official lab member, so she's allowed to come and go as she wants. So she would like them to send an email telling her not to purchase the phone she currently
I was
has.
kind of hoping. I was kind of hoping Mark would be here when Shining Finger came.
You know how Mark is. He's always like, "Oh, I have to
Yeah,
raise my kid." Well,
but
we all
G
got
Gundam.
kids. We all
No,
got
I don't.
kids, and here we are. Here we
I don't.
are. We'll talk about it later, Sai. We all got kids, and here we are.
Oh yeah, you're right. Fair enough. But anyway, yeah. So, Shining Finger, because she
Shining.
only communicates through text messages, which she
She
is
will.
very good at.
She will talk. She just feels very uncomfortable doing it.
She talks once in a while, which is weird, right?
She becomes a lab member, and here's it's weird. A lot of weird things happen because this is where everything breaks. Okay, you with me?
Yeah. Following.
She asks. Oh my god, I hate Hunter. She asks them to send her a text message in the past telling her not to buy the phone. Well, when they send the text message, things just change. The whole world changes for them because they lose their IBN 5100, yet they still have access to CERN. And she still has the same phone.
Yeah, but they didn't get to see the message.
They didn't get to see the message. That's true.
Which, do we ever actually see find out what she sent? Because I don't think we did.
It's in Japanese and it wasn't subtitled for me. I don't know if whatever you watched it on it was subtitled. No. Not for me.
Yeah, no, I just was hoping that they said it.
So we got that. And then what happens next? Ferris.
Is Ferris next? Oh yeah, that's right. So she was the third. I kind of thought, I thought hers was later for some reason.
I thought Ferris was the third. Who was the fourth?
No, I'm saying
Ferris was the third, and then
no, I was thinking I got mixed up with the numbers. I'm not good at math.
So Ferris owns a maid cafe, and she basically brought Moe culture to the entire area. Okay,
and she keeps it thriving. Apparently,
she keeps it thriving, and we know that because she asked to send.
Diary says it a bunch.
Yes, she asked to send the text message back to whomever, she won't say.
Oh yeah, that's right. She doesn't,
and that changes the whole world. She sends a text message back to her father telling him not to come home early from a business trip. And what that does is that keeps him alive. And that keeps her from opening the maid cafe, and that changes the entire area. And that's when our main character, Okabe, realizes that he has an ability, and he calls it reading Steiner. Okay? What reading Steiner does is it lets him remember the other world lines. And this is where things get crazy. Okay? Let me get a pen.
Are you about to what?
I'm gonna draw some stuff, okay? And this is where we're going to first explain Steins Gate, what that means and what we're going to do from there. Okay. These are world lines, okay? Do you see these random lines?
Mm-hmm.
They're just world lines. Okay?
There's just lines on the paper.
And what it is, I mean, every decision makes a new world line. Every decision we do makes a new world line. But there are things that cannot be changed. So no matter what, you can't change the event of this person dying. You can't change the event of a Christmas tree burning down. You can't change this event unless you change all these other things so much. You change the probability of the world by more than 1%, which we'll explain in a little bit. And that can change static events. Now, you should not do that. You should not do any of this because this is bad stuff. But if you do, it splits the world lines. Things happen. Now, the whole point of Steins Gate, as we find out at the end of a second series and the movie following it, is what Steins Gate is. His Okabe's entire journey in life is to get to Steins Gate. Okay? What Steins Gate is, these are our world lines, right? You with me? Okay. So that's Steins Gate. Okay. It's just the world lines are all 2D. Steins Gate is 3D. It's a completely separate thing that changes anything and it makes anything possible from there. It's the equivalent to the gate in Full Metal Alchemist and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, which are both canon. They're different canons. How could they not be canon? They're completely different things. Everything's canon to something. We saw it happen. So that's Steins Gate. Steins Gate is this big hole in the middle. Okay? And do you know why they call it Steins Gate? For no fucking reason. Because Okabe thought it up in 2036. And went and sent a message to himself back in time to tell him that before any of this ever started. There's also the possibility that Okabe gave himself a fever as a child to change his brain to make it where he had reading Steiner, but that's a whole different thing. We don't know if that happened, and we can't claim for real if that happened. All right, so back to where we were. I can't hear you. Are you on mute? Am I on mute? Can you hear me? Are you talking? Are you just messing around? Now you're on mute. Now you're not on mute. Did you turn your mic off? I'm just going to start talking. It'll be fine. I don't know what you're doing. Anyway, I'm not just going to leave dead sound when I could be talking about something. So that changes everything, but Okabe remembers everything as it was. Okay? Because of his reading Steiner. And Kurisu believes everything he tells him because she's been working on time travel, of course. So when he sends messages back in time to change it, she believes that. So then we have our fourth message. Okay. That message is sent.
Hello.
Okay. I hear you.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So our fourth message sent by Uru Shibara. She wanted to send a message back in time to her mom to encourage her to eat vegetables while she's pregnant. So she would be born a girl, because in this timeline, she is a boy. She's a very effeminate boy, and she wants to be a girl. Okay?
I'm with you.
There's some complicated stuff where they have to figure out an old pager number and all that, but honestly, it's not that important. So they send that message. That goes back, and he becomes a she. It's a girl. And that's when things go very badly. Okay? You with me?
Do
you know why they go badly?
That's when they start to kill her.
That's when they start to kill her. Was it Moeka is Shining Finger. Mayushi. She's our Mayushi is Okabe's best friend for as long as either of them can remember. When she was young, her grandmother died, and Okabe told her that she couldn't die to be with her grandma because he was
going to be raptured.
And that shit looked like she was going to be raptured, to be honest. There was a lot going on there. So that's when he kind of gets that split personality-ish thing. Ocarine, where he believes he's a mad scientist named Hyoen Kyoma,
Joey, oh my,
which is very
Joey.
crazy. He's very crazy about that. And
I mean, he
yeah,
does have
that's why
right.
they're together. So what happens after that fourth text message eventually is Shining Finger shows up and kills Mayushi,
To take the computer that they
the
don't
blue
have
girl.
anymore.
What?
Didn't she show up to take the computer?
She took the computer already, but they
Yeah.
didn't know
Okay.
that.
So why'd
That's
you
what
have to
they'll
kill
find
him?
out later. So this leads us down this insane rabbit hole of Okabe going, sending text messages back in time over and over again. But eventually with them hacking into CERN, what they can do is they can
Yeah,
send
loaded.
24 bytes of data back in time. Okay? That's not a lot. You couldn't send a text message with that nowadays.
No. And
But
if it's just 24 bytes, how do they get into sending his brain?
yes, so they send his brainwaves back in time, essentially letting him time travel. And the way they do that is by using CERN's Large Hadron Collider. It creates a miniature black hole and makes a lot of things possible. So they push forward, and there's an event where his lab is attacked by agents from CERN, led by Shining Finger.
Was I the
Okay.
only one that laughed when the car happened?
Which car?
The
When he
one.
was in the car or when
Oh no,
she got
not
hit?
in the car.
So yeah, there were some pretty funny things. So eventually, Okabe, they hack into the collider, and Okabe can go back in time 2 days. Okay, so he goes on this just fucked up years of sending his mind back in time over 2 days to try to save her, realizing over and over again, that he can't. He fails over and over again because this is a static point in time. He has to change things so much that it definitely can't happen, he finds out. Well, he finds out Shining Finger was working for CERN. He finds out that her handler is the gentleman who rents him the apartment he lives in. He finds out that the only way things work to send things back in time is if they have that CRT TV on the bottom floor on. He finds out that this girl who showed up, and that girl, what's her name? Suzuha. Suzuha was actually John Teeter on the forums, and she is from the future, and she is Daru's daughter. All of that very important. So he tries again and again and again and again to save Miyoru, and he fails again and again and again and again. Okay, until he realizes that the only way to save her is to get rid of these text messages that he sent.
And there's a part where she goes back into the past and fails, kills herself.
What?
Suzuha. When
Well,
she goes
that
back into the past, it grows up and then kills herself.
okay, yes, that was something else. That never happened now, but yes, at one point she goes back to the 70s and just fucking lives her life and kills herself. And
Because she
then
forgot.
she forgot. And then again, then in another timeline, she goes back in time and died of old age at like 60, which sounded odd to me, but whatever.
That
So
was
Okabe has
2000.
to go on a series of misadventures to erase these text messages. He has to erase the
Figure out
one.
how to put the system right.
Yes.
Because there's a couple of times where he does the wrong thing and just
Yes.
doesn't change anything.
he has to turn
But shouldn't that make
Bari back into a girl, but he has to go on a date with her first because she's in love with him. But they erase that text message. They erase the Ferris text message, which is tough because that message brought her dad back to life, but she does it anyway because it's the right thing to do, because you don't mess with time streams unless you do.
And they lied to her.
Well, they lied to her.
I'm sure you'll remember the memories.
But she does.
Oh, she
If
does?
you forget, they all start. None of them have the reading Steiner ability, but they all remember these fractured timelines as he explains it to them.
But do they remember them when they jump over?
They might.
Because wouldn't he have to explain that again?
Maybe he does. We don't see everything that happens off screen. And here's the other thing. Sometimes you don't need the memory. Sometimes you only need the feeling.
Okay.
Sometimes the feelings are enough, Sai. He has to erase the text message of Shining Finger sending the message back. And that's one of the most important ones. That's when we find out, are you leaving? Sai's taken off. That's when we find out Mr. Braun is actually in charge. Well, he's an agent for CERN. He's working for CERN, but he ends up killing himself. So we have to go back in time to fix that. And then he gets to the final text message, the text message that is sent, that if he sends it, if he erases sending it, he's going to save Mayushi.
Okay.
But he's going to lose Kirisu. And through all of this, he's grown very close to Kirisu. So close, in fact, that their lips touch.
On purpose? That's good.
Yeah. And I was thinking about it just a second ago when I realized that this is a harem anime. Sai is gone, but that's fine. I'll talk about how it's a harem anime, and he can't interrupt me. It's a man surrounded by women who love him that he does not love back. That is very much a harem anime. Now,
I'm sorry, I was jumping timelines.
Okay, Sai is back on this timeline. Now, time has changed so much that it's gone from Suzuha hiding who she is to Suzuha just revealing herself to the lab members the second she gets there. She explains everything. Okay? And that's when things change. She gives... I almost called him Rentaro, and that's his name, but he has so many names. Okabe. She gives Okabe a device that shows how much the timelines have changed. He has to change it 1% to save her. If he cannot do that, he cannot save Miyoshi. And he realizes after hundreds upon hundreds of attempts that he has to erase that first text message. But if he does that, he's going to lose Kirisu. And that's when... Are you back? So what we're talking about the final time that Suzuha comes back and tells him that the only way that they can fix the timeline is to save Kirisu, right? This is episode 23. We have 4 and 5 after, okay? Now this is where things get weird, okay? Because how this episode ends depends on if you're going to finish this series or if you're going to watch Steins Gate 0. Because if you finish this series, he goes back in time, he sees Kirisu die, and then he goes back to his regular time where he gets a message from himself in the future explaining to him how to save her, okay? And he explains to him that to save her, the him of this time, the him of 1 year ago, however far they're going back, has to see her dead. But she doesn't have to be dead. She just has to think he's dead. He just has to think she's dead. So his plan is to use fake blood and trick her. Now, here's where things get even more complicated, okay? Because who kills her?
Yeah.
Her dad. Her dad kills her because he's a jealous little twat who was not a very good scientist. Okay. So this is our final shot. We only have enough fuel to go back in time one more time. Okay. And this will either fix everything or destroy everything. So Okabe goes back, right?
Yeah.
And his plan is to use fake blood, but the fake blood's dried up.
Yeah, because he left it in there for like a year.
So what he does is he lets her dad stab him and throws his blood all over her. And that tricks the Okabe from that time into thinking she's dead. It allows the dad to get away, but he doesn't have the plans for the time machine like he had originally. So it saves her. It saves Mayushi, and it prevents World War III. It's the best of both worlds times 3. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that's great. And then we have a movie where they all go to America to visit Kirisu, and it's just fun times. You didn't watch that. It's pointless. They just go to America because Ferris goes to a cosplay contest and they go with her. And then Okabe does meet the woman who will become Suzuha's mother, but that's not that important.
No, I thought what Mayushi was Suzuha's mother.
No.
That's what they were hinting at.
No.
Yeah, that was.
No. You're crazy. And that's how it ends. That's it. That's the end of Steins Gate. Unless you talk about Steins Gate 0. Because that's where things get really weird, Sai.
Uh-huh.
So Steins Gate 0 is an alternate timeline where if you watch episode 23B, Okabe does not go back the second time to save Suzuha. Okay. So she just dies. He gives up. She dies. And he says World War III is probably not going to happen. I can't deal with this shit anymore. So he goes on and lives his life. He becomes a normal college student. He's no longer a mad scientist. The lab is just Daru nowadays because Kirisu's dead. And he just doesn't want to deal with the shit anymore. But you can't not deal with the shit, Sai. Okay?
So is Mayushi dead?
Mayushi is not dead.
Okay.
Because Kirisu's dead. This is the alternate timeline.
Oh, yeah.
This is basically the timeline
no, I get it.
that we're kind of following at the beginning, but he's jumped so much, he's pretty fucked up. And a lot happens here. He meets another scientist from America who worked with Kirisu, and
Is it her mom?
Boss. No, she's a short girl. I forget her name. I can't remember any names. And that's when he finds out about Amadeus. Okay. Amadeus is an AI computer program that has all the thoughts and memories of Kirisu. Obviously. Which leads to World War III. People are fighting over her research, and the only way to get her research anymore is to get Amadeus.
Oh,
so
yeah.
A lot happens.
Skip the part about her research being the right way to time travel.
Her research is not the right way to time travel. There's no right way to time travel. You don't time travel.
Okay.
I don't know if you've looked at your screen, but if you notice behind us, the symbol is the John Teeter symbol. But where we're at in this is everyone's a lot more normal. Without Okabe being crazy, no one else is crazy. It's not as good, but it's as good in some other fronts. So, hey, look who's here.
Yeah,
Mark,
I just got
I
home.
swear he looks like he came from a porno more and more each week.
Hey, sorry, how I make my money?
What porno do you think he came from? One in the 70s?
Yes.
I don't think they have mustaches like that anymore.
Good old Burt Reynolds.
But I only watch Girl on Girl because I'm, a man, manly man. So
I only
Mark,
watch Femboys on Femboys.
well, that's what this anime was about.
Yeah, I know.
Mark, we've talked about the entire anime. Go ahead and
Yeah.
tell us your scoop on it.
Okay, so I got through about half because that's the joy of having
I
COVID.
thought that was his child's head that he was manhandling like that.
Oh, the mic.
I was like, oh
Yeah.
my god, don't do that on camera.
He's awake, but he's over there. He
What was his score?
His what?
His score
His score?
for Steins Gate.
Oh, his I have no idea. He saw me watching part of it. He didn't, unless there's like action and a bunch of stuff going on. He doesn't really gravitate towards what I'm watching. But yeah, I was late because his school had a football player come to their school today to like read him a story, like read him books. Like kids trying to fulfill their charity credit.
That's why it took so long. Because they had a football player reading.
Yeah. No, so they got like free tickets to like
He's
the
like,
high
what's
school
this
football.
word? And they're like, hat?
I don't know. But they got him like free tickets to the game tonight, and so a bunch of his friends were going. So he was like, "Can we go to the game?" And I was like,
"What game?"
They had a high school football game tonight. That's why the kid was reading to them. Also, to I'm sure get.
Oh, it was a high school football.
Yeah.
So he definitely was what took.
It definitely took some time. So that's what took so long. Is I literally just
the cat in the hat.
But yeah, so I got through about half of it. So I will say this: at like the first 5 episodes, I was like getting ready to like just call it because it was a slow burn to like where things started to get interesting for me.
It's kind of a no burn because the first 5 episodes are intentionally hard to follow.
It took me a while, and then I would say because I remember episode 6 is where I got done with it, and I was like, okay, that was pretty good.
Would you believe us if we told you get absolutely nowhere by the end of it?
Yeah, I would. Yes, I would. I would in fact believe that.
Like he basically reaches 0.1.
No,
from where he started.
I would honestly believe.
Oh, you got 2 episodes. You got 2 feet.
Yeah, I would honestly believe you because, like I said, the first 5, I was like, oh god, like this.
You didn't even get to the confusing parts.
I got to the first 5 and I was like, this is real rough. I was like, I'm really confused on.
It's good. It's
so many things right now. Well, it got episode 6 is where I started to be like, okay, this is actually like starting to become like really entertaining, and like I'm actually like kind of getting invested in like what's going on, and it got better. Like I actually plan on finishing it because I enjoyed
when
it
do we
overall.
Josh, when do you meet Shining Finger?
Probably around that time. No, probably earlier.
3, maybe episode 3. She's pretty early because
she's not important till later.
Yeah, he bumps into her really early on.
Yeah, that's when she starts to pop up.
Yeah, and then she disappears after she.
Mark just was like, "Oh, Gundam."
Yeah,
and his ears started perking up.
Yeah, I got excited. I heard a lot of Gundam talk.
He was like, "Shining Finger."
Like I'm in, and then it was like, this isn't what I thought. But it got really good. I will say it got better and better, and I actually like started to get kind of invested in everything. So overall, I like. Did you guys give grades yet or no?
No. I mean, I'm the resident. I was actually just about to explain the plot of Steins Gate 0 since I'm the resident expert.
Yeah, because if I read it right, 0 is where he never invented it, right? Or something?
Kind of.
No.
So
what?
0 takes place.
What's wrong with it?
After episode 2, but he's done the time leap still.
Oh, the first one.
So
Okay.
essentially, Zero takes place if he never went back in time and saved Kurisu.
I gotcha.
As they sent that she's not alive in Zero. She is alive, but she's a computer program. It's complicated. The main part is the main cool thing is one time he tries to jump back in time, but he gets fucked and he ends up waiting in 2036.
You were like, one time he jumped. I was like, what?
So here's the thing. In 2036, he realizes that the only way to save everything is to go back in time and do it, right? But the way he does it is by jumping back in time 2 days at a time. He makes 3,000 jumps back to the year 2011.
That's a lot.
To try to save him. It's a lot. But trust me, it's worth it, guys. Anything else you need to know, Sai?
No.
Sai, what do you think? Man?
It was a solid B plus.
A solid B plus. Wow.
Yeah.
I don't think you'd like Zero as much because it's not as crazy character driven. You know, I know how you like Kiyoma. You like that he's a crazy mad scientist.
I like him. I like Daru more.
Everybody's pretty.
Daru's the anime guy, right?
Yeah.
Daru's the inappropriate.
The hacker
guy. He's the one that keeps making women say dirty things to him.
Yeah. So what do you think, Mark, based on your half-assed attempt to pretend like you watched some episodes?
I totally did.
You had fucking 7 or 8 weeks, however long it's been since our last episode.
3. I will say for people that are thinking of watching it, go past the first few episodes because it's a slow burn. But I give it I'll go B plus.
Okay. Pretty sure everyone who was ever gonna watch Steins Gate has already watched it.
See, that's what I thought till we watched it. I think we're the last ones to the party.
Well, I had already watched it.
Well, you didn't. You never finished it.
No, I watched it. I knew what it was about.
So let me give you my grade, guys.
I thought I hadn't finished it, but I was really far. I think I did finish it the first time.
You never finished it. Let me talk about my grades, okay? These are important. My grades carry the most weight since I watched the most of it. Yeah, so, listen. If we're just talking about Steins Gate, just Steins Gate, episodes 1 through 25, I would give it an A. Okay? I think it's great. I like everything they did. I like the way that they just let plot holes ride. That was fun for me. But if we're going to talk about everything from Steins Gate to the end of the Steins Gate Zero movie, I am going to give it an S. Because the way it reminds me of Genkai and Togoro's past in Yu Yu Hakusho. Because they weave in stuff that, like, it didn't make any sense until they put it in there, and then it made perfect sense. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
You saying Zero fills in the blanks?
Zero is a completely different story, and Zero actually doesn't fill in the blanks till you get to the last episode, and then the movie fills in the rest of the blanks. That's when you find out you don't find out what Steins Gate really is till then.
But there's a Zero movie too?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's also a Valentine's Day special, but that doesn't add anything. Don't worry about that.
Skip the Steins Gate movie, watch Zero and the Zero.
Yeah.
So everything pieced together.
Everything goes together very well. I was a big fan of it. I think I like it as much as I like Dr. Stone. And I think you guys know I like Dr. Stone a lot.
Mm-hmm. Something
Dr.
about
Dr. Stone is very good.
And Josh
corrupted a lot more than people than just me with it. I've gotten 2 other people onto Dr. Stone now.
Mm-hmm. I like it. I want it to spread everywhere. Well, maybe we'll watch it for the next one. Why don't you pull up the wheel?
You should add Chaos Head to it and robotics in it.
Chaos Head?
Hmm.
Hold on.
It's
Mark, I'm
made
sure
by
you're.
the same person. There's also a strange apostrophe in there somewhere.
Okay, Chaos Head, and then what was that second thing?
Robotics note.
Robotics Node?
Note.
Oh, Node.
I'm sure you'll go back and watch this episode, Mark, and you'll love all the. I actually drew a graph at one point, and then I also explained the history of the internet. So it'll probably be your favorite
one.
episode so far.
Nice.
You did really well, too.
Good old history of the internet.
Yeah. Anything we're hoping it lands on, guys? Come on, Kaiju number 8.
It's on here, right? Yep.
I don't know. Yeah, there it is.
Uh,
Viral hit. Wow.
hmm.
Sword Art Online episode 3. I don't want to do that.
Episode 3 or season 3?
Well, an episode I could do. I didn't hate season 2 though. It's just every part with what's his face in it.
I don't know. I'm torn between something new and then one of these three that have been on the list since the very beginning of the show and have never been landed on.
What are they?
Made in Abyss, Air Gear, and Hunter x Hunter. They were the first. They were part of the first 6 anime we ever added, and we landed on the other 3, but we've never.
That was Tower of God.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh.
That was old what's his face's suggestion. The one who's not Barry.
Yeah, the one who's not Barry.
Made in Abyss. Please, Made in Abyss.
It's still on here because we never landed on it. I just ended up watching it because you kept talking about it.
Wait, hey, no, whoa.
Which one?
Why is Sword Art Online on there twice?
Wait, hold on.
Right there.
Oh. Where do you see it twice?
Well, we have Sword Art Online season 3 at the bottom, and then we have seasons 2 and 3 right there.
Wait,
So
did we add it again? Did we add it again accidentally?
That's 3 times.
Oh, someone must have recommended. We forgot it was there.
I think you put it on there after we watched season 2 because you like to be a jerk.
I mean, that's also a good possibility.
Yeah, maybe we'll get something
Made
new.
in Abyss.
We've never heard of, and we'll love it. The Get Backers.
I have
Well,
no
that's
idea.
good for a few episodes. So the Get Backers is an anime about a couple of pals with superpowers. One of them can turn into other people, I think. I think the other one is electric. The first 2 or 3 episodes are episodic, and then the rest is just them fucking around in a tower.
Yeah, let's see here. See if I can find an actual show description.
Really?
I just
Um,
how can you? Is there anything? Was that not the best description you've ever heard?
It was a good one. I can't really find anything. It's not in Crunchyroll. It's an old one, right?
Not that old. 2004.
That's old. That's 20 years ago.
Oh, fuck you, Sai.
I
I might have a DVD to be
If that anime was a person, it could almost drink.
Oh, so they just people just hire them to get back stuff that was like stolen and stuff.
Yeah.
That's why I've never heard of it.
Yeah. So it's
I was 12 when this
2002,
came.
2003. It's 49 episodes.
Oh, hell no.
Well, we'll probably end up watching it, considering we'll put off whenever we record, because Sai had to do the job.
It's not my fault.
Yeah, how's that job going, Sai?
Fine.
Good. You know how I first discovered the Get Backers, guys? It was in Otaku magazine back when they used to give you a disc with a couple of first episodes of different animes. I had the first episode of this in one of those discs.
I remember that.
That was the only episode you watched.
No, I watched the whole thing.
I'm gonna have to see if I can find it. It's not on Crunchyroll or the anime
Gosh,
site.
will I like it?
Yeah, you'll like parts of it.
We gotta be able to find where to watch it. Here we go. I think about it. Yeah, I found it. You got to. I had to search just backers, not the Get Backers.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Don't worry.
Backers.
I was hoping we were going to get a reroll.
Unfortunately, it's a legit anime, so I can't re-roll it.
Action, comedy, mystery, drama, shonen, superpower, and supernatural.
Yeah,
I feel like that makes it bad because there's
2002.
every
Yeah.
genre.
Well, I
Alright.
mean, that's how they describe it on certain websites. But yeah, it's also made by Studio Den.
Some of it,
No, I didn't know.
only a little.
What?
Whose studio? Why are you whispering in my ear?
My kid.
They made a bunch of shit. They made a bunch of OVAs. They made DNA Squared, which was not that good, to be honest.
I've never heard of that.
You wouldn't like it. They made my
Real
Buddha.
monsters?
No,
Oh,
that was not. Oh, they did make Meizane Kuko, which was
never heard of that.
you guys love Rumiko Takahashi, right?
Oh my god.
You big Ranma fans? All right.
No.
They made Konosuba, God's Blessing in This Wonderful World.
Did they really?
Yep.
Oh, Studio Dean.
What did I say?
Din?
I could have said that. That's definitely true. Mark, go ahead and end the episode.
There's
This is
two E's in there.
not
All right.
normally.
You've done the right thing. Your parents are on the way back, so you can pop that old Blu-ray out and pop back in, and get ready for an amazing review of Get Backers in 2 weeks, as we avoid some of the early animes we've ever watched. And I just noticed that Josh's thing is do, which that girl did say anytime she answered, and you've heard of
I
it.
do it, guys. That's how I do it.
That's how you answer every call. Do.